So, got any afternoon plans? I look up at the ceiling, pretending to think for a moment, just to tease him. I can see a raised eyebrow in my peripheral vision. Then I smile. Nope, looks like my afternoon is all clear. The dog scoffs, ruffling his paw through my hair. Then I start to hear popping from the microwave. Popcorn? Wait, are we watching a movie? I see the dog's eyes light up as I seemingly guess correctly. Oh, of course, the projector downstairs. I figured we both could use a relaxing afternoon. What better way to wind down than a movie date? A date, huh? I didn't even get a proper ask. Rofi giggles and hops out of his seat. He kneels down and takes my paw in his. Fine. Brandon, would you go on a date with me? He shoots the most potent set of puppy dog eyes yet at me. I can't keep him kneeling for too long, so I give up the facade quickly. Of course. He hops up energetically, pulling me with him. My chair creaks as I get up. The sound almost echoes around the kitchen. I'm surprised at how quiet the house is, especially given all that happened this morning. All I can hear is a low humming of the microwave. Wait, Rofi, the microwave! Rofi's ears perk up. Oh, dang! He whips around and quickly steps towards the microwave, stopping it before any more damage is done. As he opens the door, the smell of burnt popcorn begins to waft into the kitchen. He grabs the bag, shakes it a little, then tears it open gently. He reels back as a little puff of smoke hits him in the face. He shakes his head and gives a sheepish look. So, that was the only bag of popcorn I could find. Hey, that's alright. I'm sure it's still edible. I reach a paw into the bag to pop a piece into my mouth. Wow, that's burnt. Yeah, it's not that bad. That cheers Rofi up a little. Yay! He grabs as many snacks as he can into his arms, then nods towards the basement. Your movie date awaits. The basement looks mostly the same as last night. At the center of the room, I see two chairs set up around a table in front of the projector. Rofi throws the assortment of snacks onto the table, then makes a grandiose gesture to one of the chairs, prompting me to take a seat. He hops up behind us for a moment, returning with a few movie reels. Okay, so I've narrowed down the options to these few. I don't really know what they're about, but they're all comedy romance type movies. You pick. I look through the various titles and finally decide on a silly looking teen comedy. I hand the reel to Rofi, and with a smile he goes and sets it up on the projector. Well, at least he tries to. You sure you know how to work that thing? He grunts a little, clearly struggling. He looks at me and grits his teeth into a smile. Of course, I got it. How hard could it be anyways? This thing's technologically ancient. I open a bag of chips, carefully getting up and waving one in front of his mouth, making sure to keep the weight on my good footpaw. His tail swishes happily, and he leans forward to take it out of my paw. Gotta make sure the theater staff is well fed. Right? And said staff just figured it out, I think. With a flip of a switch, the projector whirls to life, and the movie starts to play on the screen across the room. I sit back down, but Rofi springs up to switch the lights off. Hurry, it's starting! The room goes dark minus the screen, and he quickly joins me across the table. Too bad there aren't any previews. We won't be able to analyze any of these snacks properly. We can do it during. The movie starts. As the camera zooms in on the main character, Rofi reaches across the table to hand me a drink. I see him holding a similar looking can, just a different flavor. He pops his can open and rises it in toast fashion to me. I imitate him and can't help but chuckle. We sip our drinks in unison. It might taste like apples. Apples? I look over to his can. It's a light shade of pink. It couldn't be. Hey, what flavor is your drink? Rofi takes a look at the side. It says cotton candy. I don't know where Theo found this flavor, but it seems pretty unique. The blood freezes in my veins, just like my dream. The smell of new spring grass. Do you want to sip, Brandon? Synthetic apple flavor. Brandon. The sense of time stood still. Rofi stands upright and quickly crosses over to me. Broken mirrors. He kneels in front of me, staring deep into my faraway eyes. Bloody paw prints and freshly fallen snow. Hey, Brandon, it'll be okay, I promise. His paws envelop on my own, and suddenly I'm anchored. Here, now. Though my breath is still shaky, I calm down a little bit at his touch. I'm okay. I'll be okay. He smiles softly at me, though I can still see the worry in his eyes. Where did you go, just now? Back to the dream? I nod. I'm sorry. Rofi interrupts me with a playful swat on the knee. Hey, no apologizing aloud. His voice softens even further. Look, is all of this too much? I want to make sure you enjoy your afternoon, whatever that means for you. Do you want to go back upstairs and decompress there? I look around at all the snacks and drinks, the screen and the projector, so carefully set up. Rofi's eyes looking up at me, concerned but warm. He put so much effort into making this impromptu date. He just wanted to make the afternoon fun for me, despite the circumstances. I can do this. I can stay here with him in this moment. No, it's okay. I'm good down here. Promise? Promise. The repeated word brings back a cheer into his eyes. Okay. Hey, I have another idea. Give me a second. He hops up the stairs, but returns quickly carrying a large beanbag. You want to share this instead of these chairs? I feel like they're a little stiff for me, especially for a movie viewing. I give him a small smile. I'd like that, yeah. We rearrange the snacks on the floor and make ourselves comfortable on the beanbag. We sit normally at first, but quickly start sinking in and leaning against each other. Soon, Rofi's cheek is on my shoulder. The movie begins to pick up as the protagonists find themselves entrenched in a dramatic love story. Well, dramatic for them, the story felt a bit silly to me. After a particularly bad scene, I hear Rofi snort from amusement. Oh my goodness, it's really not that deep, Chad. Apparently, Rofi thought it was silly too. He turns to me, talking through the scene transition. Can you believe him? I think the entire school knows he likes Melissa. He should just confess. This movie would have been over like 30 minutes ago. Well, the movie producers have bills to pay, that's part of the show, right? I guess. I feel like he had so many opportunities to speed the plot along, though. He giggles and settles back against me. We tune back into the drama. In a dreadful, cruel twist of fate, Chad finds out that Melissa picked up a college on the other side of the country to attend. Oof. Tough luck, buddy. Like I said, if he just told her he liked her, like a few months ago, this whole mess could have been avoided. What, you mean Melissa would have picked a whole different college in a whole different state all for some high school fling? Maybe. Love has a weird way of bringing people together, you know? The movie's protagonist's gratitude and pivotal moment finally presents itself. Chad confesses to his love. Great, and what does he expect her to do now? She's already committed to a school. But he hasn't yet. Rofi watches intently, and sure enough, he predicted the ending of the movie. Chad ends up choosing a college that's near Melissa's, and they get together. The whole thing ends with a musical number about as tuneless as the rest of the movie. We sit in silence as the credits roll. I look at Rofi and he looks back at me. So, great movie. Rofi cracks up. Are you kidding me? That was so bad. Where did Theo even get this? I can't help but laugh a little with him. Okay, yeah, it was pretty bad. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Rofi lets out a roof of amusement, then hands me a bag of chips. I didn't make the movie. Why would that hurt my feelings? Honestly, the whole story was just cliche and tropey. He grabs a handful of popcorn for himself and starts crunching. And not even in a clever way either. Like, they didn't even try to examine the tropes or present them in a new and different light. They just recycled plot lines from other movies and called it a day. He munches in silence for a few moments. This popcorn sucks. Okay, and how unrealistic was that ending? Moving across the country to date someone who barely knows you? His munching pauses, face scrunched in thought. Well, I guess they were admirers from afar. They probably spent more time together off screen that we didn't see. Okay, but moving for someone like that isn't something you do lightly. I feel like marriage has to be on the table for that kind of thing to happen. I would have moved for you in middle school. Oh. Well, wait. Okay, I didn't mean I wanted to get married or anything. The dog starts tripping over his words, flustered at their implications. I just meant that I felt really attached to you, and obviously we were too young and stuff, but like... He stops to catch his breath, his eyes catching mine. His cheeks are glowing red. Before he can fill this precious space with words, I enfold him into my arms. Oh. He goes quiet as I squeeze him gently. Thank you, Rofi, for today. For everything you've done to make the best of what happened this morning. He lets out a little squeak of protest. He never was good with praise. I really appreciate you a lot. It was nothing, Brandon. I'm really glad you're feeling a bit better. At that moment, we hear a knock on the wall. Rofi jolts out of my hug, startled, and I turn to the basement stairwell, making eye contact with Artemis. He's wearing his signature smirk. Hey, lovebirds, your 2 hours are up. Artie, why would you scare us like that? Sorry, it did look like you two were having a really good time down here. Rofi whines, a mixture of embarrassment and protest. But I didn't come just to disturb your date. Theo needs a little help with the den repairs. The old coot finally decided to listen to reason and let us help. Rofi's ears perk up and sober slightly. Oh, all right. We'll join you guys upstairs in a minute. Sounds good. Take your time. The bird disappears with a wave of his wings, leaving just Rofi and I. What did he mean, your 2 hours are up? Did you make reservations for us down here? I just wanted to make sure we had the basement for enough time. He checks his phone. Oh, wow, he was right. We've been down here for a while. Longer than 2 hours, actually. It was worth every second. I pat Rofi on the head, and he can't help but stick his tongue out at me. Okay, I can clean up the snacks if you reset the projector. The dog nods, and we quickly get the basement back to its original setup. With Rofi's arms wrapped tightly around mine, we make our way up unsure of what we'll find. When we re-enter the living room, Rofi and I are greeted by a busy-looking Theo. Looking through the cardboard box, Artemis standing next to him and peering in.